Hey everybody, Nick here from virtualassistantassistant.com, and I'm joined by Jonas, founder and CEO of OnlineJobs.ph. John, welcome. What's going on?
Things are good. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Happy to hear it. I guess this is your opportunity to speak directly to the virtual assistant visitors, people who are in the market for a VA, perhaps for the first time, and say what separates online jobs from the competition. Why should somebody consider coming through your site for hiring a VA?
So, short of just making a direct, blatant advertisement, I can kind of speak some to my experience because Online Jobs was created for me in the beginning. I mean, I was hiring Filipino virtual assistants, and that's kind of a big difference. Is we only have Filipino workers.
And what were you using before?
So I had tried oDesk and Elance. I had tried hiring 4 different people in the U.S. It just wasn't. It wasn't what I was looking for, and what I was looking for was the ability to automate systems. That was my big thing with hiring virtual assistants, with hiring someone. I didn't want someone to just do a single task, and that's nice. But for me, it was all about automating systems where I could have a system that a marketing system, for example, a traffic generation system, an SEO system, whatever it is. I wanted to be able to create the system and then get someone else to do the entire thing. And you can't do that with a contract worker, which is what Elance and oDesk are. And with a virtual assistant who works for you and who works for 6 other people, or with a company who you say, oh, I want this done, and the company then goes and gets someone to do it, you're not ever really getting the ability to automate stuff because you're going to get someone to do it today and you're going to get someone else to do it tomorrow, and you can't really teach them stuff. And so what I found was I finally got a reference to hiring someone in the Philippines, and someone gave me like hope that it might be different than elsewhere, which is really interesting. Because for a lot of people, outsourcing sucks. And it's just not that good, and you can't have people do all that much for you. And I got a reference to where I could hire someone for $350 a month today for full-time work, and they could do anything I wanted them to do. And so with these people in the Philippines, I can have someone working for me and give them a system and teach them how to do that system, and I never have to think about that system again. They do it every day, or they do it once a week, or they do it however often I want them to do it, and they're doing whatever other things I want them to do at the same time. So
Online Jobs is the jobs board, or is the resume database for all of these. I mean, how many workers do you have? Like 80,000 or something last we talked.
Yeah, I think we're almost at 100,000 today.
Okay. It's a huge database.
So quickly. Yeah. So yeah, it's a database. It's a database of Filipino resumes, and then a job board. So you go on and post your job and let them reply to you, or you can go and search through the resumes, and we have really good search functionality. And then you can contact the people and say, hey, I'm interested in hiring you. Are you interested in work? And what we try to encourage is full-time work, where that person, there's some interesting things about the Philippines that are different than elsewhere in the world, where you hire someone full-time and that person wants to then take care of your business and help you grow, and they care about it because their livelihood's dependent on it, because it's a third world country. So, and then one of the things that Online Jobs does that's different than elsewhere is we don't get involved in the process. So most other places where you're going to go and hire someone, you're going to pay the company who then pays the assistant, and we don't do that. We just put you in contact with that worker so that they're going to work from home, and you're going to pay them the rate that should be paid rather than a marked up rate. So typically what we see with the Philippines is you pay a company $1,000 a month, they pay the person in the Philippines $350 a month.
Right.
And with that extra money, they provide office space and internet access, and then they take their profit. And so what we do is we just hook you up with that person. They tell you that they want to make $350 a month, and you pay them $350 a month.
And they have the ability to work from home, and they're happier because they don't have to deal with commute and all that, office politics or whatever else is going on.
Right. So, and there's a lot of benefits for the Filipino workers, and there's benefits for you. There's downsides to both also. Um, but it's so different than having an office, than having an agency.
Okay. What do you
So,
think about the virtual staff finder model, where you're paying a recruiting fee essentially for something like that, versus the DIY model? Like I'm going to post the job myself on online jobs, and kind of filter through all the resumes that come back.
so there's advantages and disadvantages to both. We're really, really close to offering what they're doing, and what Virtual Staff Finder does in the past. What Virtual Staff Finder doesn't do now that they did in the past is hire skilled people. They will only find general virtual assistants today.
Right.
And so what they do is they do the recruiting for you, and then they give you one or two or three options of people you can hire. Where with online jobs, you can do the recruiting yourself or do the job posting yourself, and you have 20 options of people to hire, and then you get to narrow it down and pick the best. And if one doesn't work out, well, you have contact information for 3 or 10 or 20 more that you can work with without having to pay again.
It's an important point of differentiation because they, like you said, they recently have kind of scaled back their offering. Hey, we're only going to find a general virtual assistant. If you're looking for a talented programmer or a talented SEO specialist or whatever the special qualifications you're looking for, probably not the best fit. And that's where you can go and search among the 100,000 resumes somebody who meets those needs.
Right. So we are really close to offering that same service, but we will do it for skilled people. We found a really good process for doing it, which we haven't had in the past, and we've tried it and we've tried it and we've tried it, and we finally developed this process where we feel like we can recruit a good skilled person.
Okay.
And the other difference is with online jobs, you pay $50 and you get unlimited access for a month. Where a recruiting service like Virtual Staff Finder, you pay $400, you get three options.
Right.
So it's just different.
Is there a type of person or I guess a first-time hire or somebody like maybe they're outsourcing for the first time who should not buy your service or who's not a good fit for this model?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say who's not a good fit for either of these models. I would say someone who's not a good fit for hiring a full-time virtual assistant is someone who doesn't know anything about what they're doing. If you don't, I mean, so we get a lot of people that are running an internet business, right? They're brand new at it. They see what I teach, and they say, "Oh, I'm going to hire a Filipino, and they'll do all of it for me, and I don't have to do anything."
Right.
And often they think, "Oh, I don't even have to know what I'm doing, and the Filipino will know, and they'll run my business, and they'll make all the money, and I'll just get the money."
Like, well, if that were the case, they'd be doing it for themselves right now.
Right. That's not how it works. So that's the one case I think where this isn't right. Like if you don't have any idea why you're hiring someone really, if you can't say, "Oh, I'm going to hire them and they're going to do this and this for me, and here's the reason why they're doing this, here's the reason why they're doing this, and here's how it's going to work," kind of, it's probably not a good fit.
Right. Well, John, thank you so much for joining me on this call, and definitely keep me posted on this recruiting option. I think that'll be an interesting alternative for people who are maybe have more money than time or just kind of pressed and want to get things ramped up quickly, or if they just don't want to be bothered with dealing with the flood of resumes that come back. But really interesting stuff. Yeah, you got to have a process to plug somebody into, otherwise, what's the point of hiring them?
Yeah, and for me, it was interesting when I started. I didn't really have a process to plug someone into, but I had an idea of that process.
Okay.
That was really good for me to start creating the processes, where I hired the guy and was like, "Oh, I got to give him stuff to do."
I'm paying for him 40 hours. I gotta
Yeah, I mean, it was so ridiculously affordable that it didn't matter if he only worked 6 hours, but yeah, I'm paying for him 40 hours. I better give him stuff to do, and that forced me to think about my business differently, which was a really big deal.
Very cool, very cool. So online jobs, like John said, $50 a month for unlimited access, unlimited job posts, and cast a wide net, put it out there, and see what comes back.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, John. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Nick. It's good to talk to you, man.